Hi, from chapter 9, heat. Okay, so this is a video number 4 in your notes, page number 4. New title: Heat flow in the 3 different ways. Heat energy can flow, 热能能流动 but they flow in 3 different ways. 它们用3种方法流动。And the first one we call conduction. 第一种就叫 conductions. Okay, 导热。Or what's mean by conductions? Very important title, 很重要的一个 title, 很多人都不会。Okay, look at example, page number 4. So let's say I prepare an iron bar. 我准备一支铁。And now using the Bunsen burner, I heating the iron bar. 我烧着这支铁的左手边。So when the iron bar is heated, the particle in the iron bar receive the heat energy. 它收到热能。When the heat energy increase, the temperature increase. Or in science, what's mean by temperature? 在科学里面，什么叫温度呢？ Kinetic energy. 温度其实就是激烈的动能来的。So when the particle is heated, the heat energy increase, the temperature increase. Or another meaning, the kinetic energy increase, 它的动能也增加。So now they vibrate faster and further. 它震动的比较快，震动的比较远。And now they collide with the next particle. 它撞到它的隔壁的 particle. Particle in the next, okay? So the particle beside it continue to vibrate. 在隔壁的 particle 呢，也跟着它震动的比较快，撞到隔壁的，又撞到隔壁的。Another meaning, how they transfer the heat energy? 就是我受到热能过后，我震动，撞到隔壁，隔壁也震动，撞到隔壁，隔壁也震动，撞到隔壁。动能就是温度，温度就是它的热能。Okay, so how is the heat transfer? 它的热能到底怎样传送呢？从一粒传给下一粒，从一粒撞到下一粒，传给下一粒，撞到下一粒，传给下一粒。So write on your note， 抄在你的 notes 的空格那边。Follow me draw， 跟着我画了哈。那这个要画。So how the heat flow in the method called conduction？ 热能在 conduction 里面到底怎样流动的呢 ？Okay， heat is transferred from particle to particle， 从激烈传给隔壁的激烈。Which remain in their fixed position, and the particle remain in their fixed position. They just vibrate, collide with the next particle, vibrate, collide with the next particle, vibrate. Okay, 震动传到隔壁，震动传到隔壁，慢慢的一粒传，一粒传。And they remain in their fixed position. 这些激烈在原本的位置没有跑掉，这种叫 conduction， 导热，震动传给隔壁。Okay. Or anything very important about conductions. Conduction actually is very slow. The process of heat flow actually is so slow. 这种方法其实比较慢。Okay, and this method actually cannot transfer the heat energy in vacuum. So conduction actually cannot pass through vacuum. 不能经过真空。Or in the vacuum, you cannot using this method to conduct the heat. 在真空的情况之下，这种方法不受用。And it happened where 在哪里发生呢？ It just happened at the solid only. 它只在固体里面发生。So solid particle vibrate, collide with the next particle. They vibrate, collide with the next particle. So 这种方法只在固体里面传送。So solid particle 固体，当它在传着的时候，它用的方法就叫 conduction. 它震动传给隔壁，震动传给隔壁，震动传给隔壁。Okay, still not believe 还是不相信吗？对不对 ？I prepare experiment， 我准备实验 ，and now you look at experiments。什么叫 conduction？ 导热 ，OK， 把热能传给隔壁，很慢，真的很慢。
Some of the classic experiments in heat can be done with simple material. This is the conduction of heat. You require a hacksaw blade, a candle, a few shoe tack nails. First, you mount the hacksaw blade on a piece of wood and then drop a few drops of candle wax and affix shoe tack nails which have big heads. Now upturn the hacksaw blade and you can see the nails hanging down. Now bring a lighted candle and place the flame of the candle on one end of this hacksaw blade. This end will gradually heat and transmit the heat. The wax will melt and the first nail will drop. And as the heat will travel the wax of the second nail.
You saw it? 看到了没有？ So when you hit the saw breaks, the heat energy transfer, 震动传给隔壁. So the first iron nail fall off. And now they transfer again, the second iron nail fall off. And they'll continue, 慢慢的传过来了. Slow, very slow.
Nail will melt and the second nail will drop. It takes a bit of time for the heat to travel from one end to the other because the heat is also getting dissipated. Now the third nail falls. And now the fourth one. For the fifth one, it might take 15 minutes. You can repeat this experiment with whatever metallic object you have. You could have.
Okay, so this is what we call conductions. Slow, cannot pass through vacuum because they need the particle to vibrate. 它需要 particle 震动 or it happen in solid. 它在固体里面发生，这种就叫 conductions. Okay? Or any example? 还有什么 example 呢？ So let's say I want to pass a flower go to the girl behind the classrooms. If you're using the method called conductions, okay, you just ask your friend pass a heat or pass a flower, 传给隔壁 ，okay, 传给隔壁 But the process actually slow. 这种过程特别的慢，这种就叫 conduction. Next, another method, convections. Or what's mean by convection in Chinese? 我们叫对流 ，okay, 对流。对流 Okay, 什么叫 convection? Follow me again. So now I'm having a beaker with some water inside. So water is made up of tiny and discrete particles. 几粒没有粘在一起的。And now prepare a Bunsen burner. Follow me, 跟着我画。I prepare a Bunsen burner and I heat the water particle. I heat the water. So when the water is heated, the particle gain the heat energy. 它受到热能。When they gain the heat energy, they move faster and they move further. They vibrate faster and further. 它震动的比较快，跑得比较远了，对不对？ So their density become lower. 当它跑得比较快，喷得比较远的时候 ，the density become lower. 它的密度降低 ，and low density rise. Compared to the water particle above, the density will be lower. 上面的比较冷，它的密度比较高，对不对？ So low density rise. Higher temperature.Lower density, so the water particle rise. 这些密度比较低的水呢 ，OK， 它们就自己跑上去了啦。So when they rise, they move. When they rise, they start to move, and they carry the heat energy above. They carry the heat energy to the upper part. To the upper part. 它带着它的热能呢上去了 ，OK。So now what happens?When the density becomes lower, the hot particles start to rise, so they carry the heat energy go to the upper part of the water. 它们就带着热能呢跑上去了 ，OK? But when they move up, 当它跑上去的时候 ，compared to the water particle here, the temperature will be lower. 跟下面正在被烧着的，它的温度就比较低 ，so the density will be higher 了，密度就比较高了。相对跟下面的做比较 ，so now they move down again， 它又再跑下来，密度低高跑上去，密度高就沉下来 ，so 热上升，冷的下降，热的上升，冷的下降。So can you see how they transfer the heat energy？ 它将传送那个热能呢 ？They carry the heat energy and move itself， 它带着那股热能自己走过去的，对不对 ？So how to write the convection？ Convection 到底怎样写呢？那 Heat is carried by the moving particle. 热能是动着的 particle 带过去的，它不是传给隔壁，它是自己走过去的。From high temperature to low temperature， 从高温的地方跑去低温的地方 ，and they carry the heat energy and move， 它带着那个热能自己走过去。明白吗？这种叫 convection. So when they move from high temperature to low temperature, they normally forming the convection current. 它们就形成了对流。Okay, convection current 就是这样子，热的上，冷的下，热的上，冷的下，这种叫 convection currents. Okay. So anything important about the convections? So where's the convection take place? 它在哪里发生？它有什么东西要注意的呢？ Number one, okay, cannot pass through vacuum. 它不能经过真空。 Why? They need the particle to carry the heat. 它需要 particle 带热能，对不对？ So it cannot pass through vacuum. 不能经过真空。And where is the process take place? 这种过程在哪里发生呢？ The particle can move freely. 这些 particle 一定要自由活动。So convection it just take place in fluid 流体 liquid and gas only 啦。So 在液体跟气体里面 this is the way they transport the heat energy. They move and carry the heat energy away. They move and carry the heat energy away. Fast or slow 它会比较快还是比较慢呢？ Faster than conduction 呢？比那个 conduction 快一点点呢？快很多其实。So faster.The process is faster compared to conduction. 跟 conduction 比它会比较快 faster. Okay, so any example 有什么例子呢 ？Look at example. Okay, 热的上升，冷的下降，热的上升，冷的下降。When you go to buy laksa, you see, you look at the laksa soup or 粿条 soup. Okay, 粿条汤的 soup 热的上升，冷的下降，热的上升，冷的下降。This is what we call convection. 这种就称为 convection 对流。Okay, or look like this. Let's say again, you want to pass a flower, go to the girl behind. 你要把一朵花呢送给后面的女生。If you're using the method conduction 传，对不对 ？Slow. If you walk yourself 自己带着花走过去 ，it should be faster， 对不对 ？So 不过一定要能动呢。So fluid 在流体里面发生液体跟气体，就是这个方法 convections. And now we're still having another last method， 最后一个方法。So for example, every day, this is the Earth and this is the Sun. Every day we receive the heat energy from the Sun. When the sun rises, 太阳升起来，我们就拿到了它的热能。So how is the heat energy transferred to the Earth? 太阳的热能怎样传给地球的呢 ？Any method? So the last method we call radiation. 最后一种方法呢，就叫 radiation, or in Chinese 我们叫放射。热能是放射过来的。Radiation 放射的方法，什么叫 radiation 放射的方法 ？Okay, so heat energy actually transferred by in the form of electromagnetic wave. 它是用电磁波的方法送过来 ，electromagnetic wave 就叫电磁波。Okay, I write for you in Chinese. 电磁，磁铁的磁啦，电磁。好了呀 ，my pen very slow, computer slow。然后不会写的，大概的形状是这样子了哈，波，电磁波，那个词自己播种哈。So the heat is transferred by using the method called electromagnetic wave. 热能呢，就是用电磁波的方法传送过来。And the method like this， 这种电磁波 we call infrared 红外线。So when you're cooking the food, you feel the heat， 对不对？当你在煮食物的时候呢，你感觉到热。So the heat energy 热能其实就是一种电磁波，这种电磁波就叫红外线，它的名字真的叫红外线，它的科学名字叫 infrared 红外线。Okay? So heat travel in the form called electromagnetic wave, in the form called infrared 红外线。And for this method is very special. It can pass through vacuum. 它可以经过真空。Okay? Why? It does not involve any particle. 它没有用到任何的 particle， 它可以直接照射过来的，所以 it can pass through vacuum. And it happens in all the matter. 在所有的物质，固体、液体、气体 ，they also lost the heat. They can transport the heat by using this method. For example, now I'm sitting here， 我坐在这边 ，I can feel the heat energy lost from my face. 我可以感觉到热能从我的脸呢这样子放射掉。So it happened in all the matter 啦，固体、液体、气体全部都用这种方法散热的，明白吗 ？And fast or slow， 快还是慢 ？As fast as light， 它的速度呢就像光速 ，1 second 300,000 km。Okay, so as fast as light, or you can write here， 你可以写在这边 ，light speed 光速 ，light speed 光速 ，as fast as light。跟光的速度一模一样 ，OK？ 哦 ，How is the light speed？ 光的速度是多少呢？300,000 300,000 km per second. 1秒走300千 km. Or in 1 second, it can surrounding the Earth. 它可以围绕地球16次，大概罢了，我乱讲的。Okay, so this is the method called radiation. Okay, or if you sit under the light bulb， 如果你坐在电灯泡下面 ，you feel the heat， 对不对 ？So how the heat energy transfer? Conduction 传吗？不是。Convection 自己跑过来撞到你吗？不是。Radiation 它跟着光一起来，红外线。So this is a method called radiation, the fastest way， 最快的方法了。Okay, any example? If I want to give the flower to the girl behind, I just look at the girl， 我看着后面的女生，跟她眨眼，跟她讲有花送给你。Okay， 那她就收到了。The fastest 跟光一样快，光速。So this is what we call radiation， 放射性的方法。Okay, next。Or any example， 再来看 example。If you pass， 慢慢的传 slow， 这种叫 conduction。It happens in solid， 它在固体发生。Okay， if you move yourself， 你自己带气的，对不对 ？This is convection， 对流。It happens in the liquid and gas， 在液体跟气体发生。Or you just throw， 你直接丢。Not involve any medium， 没有任何的介质 involve 在里面。Or this is a method called radiation， 放射性的方法。Okay, so heat flow in 3 different ways. Understand? Okay, we're still having another video to continue the same title to complete our notes with the experiment. But if you can understand the page number 4， 第4面如果你已经明白了，大致上我们接下来就是。Enjoy 罢了，容易罢了，没有什么大事情了的，大事已经过了，在第4面了。Okay， Conduction, Convection, Radiation， 拜拜。